Hello, this is part 2 of the video finding trigonometric ratios from a given ratio. In this problem, we are going to complete these 5 steps before we have finished it. So step number 1, we have to draw a right triangle. This is already given to us. Step number 2, we have to label the vertices using the name. The name is right here, this triangle XYZ, and you can see that I have labeled the vertices or corners using those 3 letters. Now we are in step 3. In step 3, we have to label the sides given the length. So in this case, we have tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Let's identify the angle of reference. They tell us the tangent of Z, that means angle Z. This angle right here in purple is the angle of reference. Based on that, we have to find the opposite hypotenuse and adjacent sides. You start by looking at the angle of reference. Across from the angle of reference is the opposite side. Then we look at the 90-degree angle. Across from the 90-degree angle, we have the hypotenuse. And the third side would be the adjacent side. Now that we have correctly labeled them, we have to go to the original ratio that was given to us. So they tell us that the opposite side is square root of 7. Label that as square root of 7. Then they also tell us that the adjacent is equal to 3. Let me label that as well. In order to complete the rest of the problem, we have to find the measure of the hypotenuse. We will be using a Pythagorean theorem for that. Again, the formula is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The hypotenuse is c. Since we don't have the hypotenuse, we are going to be leaving the right-hand side as c squared. And we're going to be using these two as a and b. I will choose square root of 7 to be a. I'm going to put square root of 7, that's a, but then I want that to be squared, plus, and b is going to be the adjacent side, so 3 squared. As I previously showed you, the square root and the exponent of 2, they are opposites of each other, and they cancel each other out. That leaves us with 7, plus 3 squared is 9. That would equal to c squared. Adding 7 and 9 gives us 16 equals c squared. Now we have to take the square root of both sides. After doing that, the square root of 16 is 4. And the square root of c squared, again, the square root and the exponent of 2 cancel out, and we get c. So we are told that c, or the hypotenuse, is equal to 4. Now that we have completed step 4, we need to move on to step 5. And we have to find the other trig ratios. The trig ratios are sine, cosine, and tangent. We already have the tangent. Therefore, we have to concentrate on sine of z and also cosine of z. The ratio for sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so opposite being square root of 7 and hypotenuse being 4. The cosine of z are adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent is 3, hypotenuse is 4, and this concludes finding the other trig ratios.